Sorry, I'll get my dick out of the shot. Got some new tortillas today. Picked them up from Walmart. Got our green tea, Arizona, of course. Went and did a late night grocery run because I needed groceries. Finishing up this PB&J I made a little bit ago. I got PB&J, sardines, mild cheddar with tortilla chips, pita chips, which are not very good. Tried a couple of them. That's what I've been snacking on. I got also got this cookie butter spread. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll go steal a goat again. Cookie butter spread. I got this from Walmart as well. Product of the Netherlands. It's actually very good. Very good. I'd give it a good 8 out of 10. Very, very good. It's kind of like a Nutella type deal. It doesn't taste at all like Nutella, but it's from the Netherlands. And you store it at room temperature. And it's like a creamy texture. So, you know, in a lot of ways, it's similar to Nutella. This is the agenda tonight. These are week-old comics. This is a week-old comic strip that I picked up at a Shell. Picked this up at a Shell gas station. And can't wait to read them. I've already read them. Half of them suck, and half of them are just okay. So I guess you guys will be the judge of that. My lord, thine local tavern is hosting the Metallica. There claimeth to be heavy metal. Why dost thou thinketh a new kind of sound for the people? I'm sure that's what they were saying for like Beethoven. I'm sure he rocked the synagogues, or no, he wasn't Jewish, but I'm sure he rocked the cathedrals. Mike has some things. Oh, I'm sure you have some things. For those of you just joining, we are live. We are live tonight. Got a lot going on tonight. It's going to be a packed show. We got our Suja organic drink. Now, for those of you new to this drink, it's terrible. But of course, we are sponsor whores, so I'll lie right now. Suja is awesome. It's the greatest drink on earth. It's good for you. It's got all these fucking ingredients that are really good for you. Suja. Drink Suja. Organic. And we'll cut it there, and we'll send that to Suja, but in reality, it's not very good at all. It tastes like a green diarrhea mess from a baby. But I've been nutrition deficient. I love how that rolls off the tongue. Nutrition deficient lately. Been eating horribly. So I tried to buy some stuff from the store that's a little healthier. I'm a little restricted in the truck. I don't have like a stove I guess I could get a microwave and like an air fryer, so there's no excuse. Sardines. YouTube assistant. Yes, and of course I do. And if you actually loved God, you would have capitalized the G. Here's the sardines. Very good. I love sardines. These are in olive oil, so not too shabby. And of course, I'm still finishing up this PB&J right here that I made. Yes, in Anchorman, I am a truck driver. Drive a big old rig. We'll be starting shortly. I just had to get some food in. I was dying. Hey, you're welcome, an Anchorman. Not to take away from your sentiment, but I will say, oh, my mic's blocked. I will say I wouldn't do this job for free, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. I have not hauled Cheetos. Funny thing about Cheetos haulers is they're hauled in what's called a low boy, and I think it's something to do with the pressure of the bags and stuff when they go in the mountains. I could be totally wrong, but I've only seen Cheetos hauled in actual Cheetos brand trailers, but they're like much lower than regular trailers. Any truckers out there, explain that one after you get done coding. Yeah, do you have truckers in your life in Anchorman? I'm the first in my family. Most of the men in my family love to work at the prison. Not as a guard, but as, in the kitchen or sweeping up the mess hall. And a lot of them like to be carpenters, but not carpenters in the traditional sense. I mean, my dad was literally a carpenter, so he would take carpet and he would put carpet down. He would install carpet. I don't know if there's a term for that. Are you just a carpet man? I guess you're just a carpet man if you roll carpet down and install it on someone's floor. So yeah, I'm the first. I'm the first truck driver. It's a job, and wouldn't do it for free. I'd be hard pressed if any actual, essential workers would still do their job for free. I'm sure some would, because they're probably pretty financially savvy, but most probably wouldn't do it for free. Just a little negative spin for tonight. There's a cat, and it's in a box. There's a cat box in the chat right now. Hopefully you're not allergic to them. That would be ironic. All right, we are almost ready here. I haven't really gotten a chance to stop and eat all day, so very, very unprofessional to open a bag on camera because it sounds like a nuclear bomb for some reason. They haven't figured out sound for bags yet. It's the loudest thing on earth. Gonna be getting our our snacks already here before we read the comics. I promise you, we will be reading the comics. And picked up that newspaper last week because I used to read the comics when I was a kid, and I totally forgot that comics were still in the newspaper. So I'm a little bit pumped. I've already read them, so I'm kind of pumped. I'm semi-pumped. I've already kind of ruined the comic. I already know the punchlines of the comics we're going to read, but, you know, there's only so much content you can do. I don't want to just sit here I feel like I have an obligation not to just sit here, although a lot of people do, and they make money from it. Well, you know, I think I'm going to say we're good. Let me take a swig of this green tea. This is delicious green tea. Let's do another ad whore segment. Arizona green tea. When you're in Japan and you see a tree like this, you're probably going to die. But Arizona green tea is not far away, so grab you a gallon like I did. Just go for the big one. Don't grab the cans. You're paying more in the end. Just grab a big old jug of it. It's going to last you. It's going to last you a few days. Just go for the big. Go for the gold. Arizona green tea. So all you tech-savvy people, go ahead and clip that. Send it to Arizona. Hit or miss, we'll be giving you 10% of what we earn. And there's no negotiating that percentage. Unless you're a girl, then all bets are off. Okay. Comics, finally. I definitely am pumped for this. Been waiting for this all week. How does one destroy the core of the Earth? Probably through magnets, Elon, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink. Adam Home. This is the first comic of the night. Adam Home. I don't know how this is going to work, so. Do you really want to learn how to brew coffee? Sure, says the daughter. I can see myself as a barista, the sassy one who takes no guff and glares at people with complicated orders. Her dad. Yeah, I can see that. The child. I've been practicing my death glare for years. And that was horrible. Animal crackers. That's the next one. I wonder if I can read this backwards. Is that going to work? My front camera resolution is from the 1500s. I don't move as fast as I used to, and of course it's a turtle. Looks like he has skin cancer. There's some spots on his neck. Got to go to the doctor. I don't move as fast as I used to. Not that anyone else would notice. I guess insinuating that people don't notice things nowadays. But we noticed how horrible that was. At least I did. BC. Classic BC. Doesn't get any better than BC. Yes, boomer humor. You hit the nail on the head, Mike. Any special rules that you play by? Anything less than a putter length is a gimme. That explains it. Anything less than a putter length is a gimme. And of course, they're playing prehistoric golf. How they have golf bags in the year one, I don't know. That was really funny. Baby blues. I should totally win Student of the Year. Whatever, says her brother. I never get in trouble. I'm nice to everyone. I'm easy going. And I only have 3 days left to crush Krista Caldwell. Her brother? That must be the easygoing part talking. See, if I knew who Krista Caldwell was, the joke probably would have landed. Probably not as. It probably wouldn't have landed any better. All right, next comic. Baldo. Here's the next comic on the list. We got Baldo. Oh, that's a lot better. That is a lot better lighting. I still can't see the words, though. Sorry, guys. Working on getting that new phone. If you want to donate, donate. Don't have the Patreon set up yet. Got to the login part, and I fell asleep. So once we get that Patreon set up, we'll send a link to you guys. Give us your email. Give us your Facebook. Put it in the comments. Give us all your personal info. And we'll send you that Patreon link so you can donate and get me that new phone. Get me that new iPhone, whatever the fuck they're on, 880. Give me the new iPhone 80, the best camera. Front-facing camera has to be top-notch, or I'm taking the money back. So, waiting on that. Baldo. Here we go. There's 2 people in the comic, okay? Cruz, what's up? Hey, Che, you're in the school film club, right? I'm just assuming he talks like a Mexican from East Los Angeles because he said the word Che, and he's a little bit obese. Hey, Che, you're in the school film club, right? Yeah, you working on something? I was thinking about a horror movie, but seeing you working here, maybe it's a documentary. Need any protesters? Says his hippie friend. That was much more of a black voice, not an East LA homie. Well, sell some dirt this weekend. We'll sell some dirt this weekend and get you that Motorola Razr, Mike says. The Motorola Razr I was looking into, it's got the cool little thing. You can fold it like this, and it's indestructible. You run it over with your wife's tricycle, or however she gets to work. You can run it over with an Abrams tank, and it'll be just fine from what I've heard. So appreciate that, Mike. And you'll be getting thumbs up. There's something on the screen. Okay, we're rolling through these guys. Beetle Bailey, give a comment if you recognize any of the comics from tonight. Did you just forget what I just told you? I included a just in there. There's 2 people in the strip. Did you forget what I just told you? I have a bad short-term memory. I've been telling you the same thing for years. My long-term memory ain't good neither. So this hillbilly crackhead, meth head, has a bad memory, is the gist of the comic. And the fat, obese sergeant with 1 tooth, after years of not brushing his teeth, is mad at the redneck. All right, Big Nate. Some of these I don't recognize when I was 6. Do you guys recognize Big Nate? That's the next one right there. Kind of a strange drawing artwork. Okay, there's technically 3 people in this comic, but 2 are talking. Francis, how come you're hanging out with Gina all the time lately? We like to study together. We have sort of the same approach to schoolwork. Okay, but you don't like her, right? Because that would be, surprising? I was gonna go with repulsive, but surprising, sure. Here's the picture of the girl they're talking about, Gina. So that's kind of a mean comic. The punchline is he's surprised that the dude is hanging out with such a repulsive girl at school. She's got her hair tied back. She, head shaped like a squashed egg. But that's no reason to call her repulsive. That's a brave comic. That's a brave comic in PC culture, right? Calling a chick a repulsive, repugnant, gross person. Blondie. Blondie is, of course, another classic. And don't worry, because these get worse. Honey, are you awake? I just found a new magazine survey on relationships that I'd like you to take. And then it's him snoring. I'm not really good at fake snoring. Wow, that was even faster than the last time I asked him. Huh. These are so good, man. Number one, I'm surprised that there's still a paper in production in 2025. That is the most shocking of all of this. Okay, I don't think we can live with ourselves if we didn't read dun 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 classic Peanuts. Of course, you got Charlie Brown, dopey, kind of a weird kid, and you got Lionel next to him, dude with the blanket, because he has attachment and separation issues. So it's Charlie and Lionel. Charlie, I'm always thinking about that little redheaded girl, but I know she doesn't think of me. She doesn't think of me because I'm a nothing, and you can't think of nothing. Lionel, you're not really a nothing, Charlie Brown. Almost. Does a girl ever go around thinking of a .00001? Let's repeat that. Let's repeat the punchline. Does a girl ever go around thinking of a .0001? So math is being introduced, and that's where I draw the line. I don't think we need to read all of these. Let's go Bound and Gagged. You guys remember Bound and Gagged? Kind of a risque title. When I was a kid, I just thought it was normal title. It's a picture of 4 guards, and they're in front of a cauldron of oil. And one of them says, "The boiling oil is down a quart." And the 3 other guys are just looking down. And my opinion on this punchline is they used it to whack off. They used the oil to whack off. I'm sure they were whacking off in the medieval times. I can't think of any other punchline other than they were jerking their chicken. So, not to be coarse on here, that only thing I could think of. Let's see. Let's go Doonesbury. Doonesbury is a new one. Wasn't aware of this because I forgot that the paper existed. Doonesbury. Right there. All right, there's 3 people in the scene. Mike's summer day dream in progress. Hurry up and brush your teeth, kiddo. Okay, Mom. I can't believe it. We really have an 8-year-old son? Goes by quickly, doesn't it? Boy, you could say that again. It's like you just blink and, "Hey, Dad, I'm taking the van, okay?" And of course, the last scene is their son, all grown up. So, it's a time frame punchline. The kids grow up, you know. If you keep feeding them, giving them water and sun, once in a while they're gonna grow. And that's always been my opinion on that. We're almost to the end, but don't fret, we've got another page. So, it's depressing to say out loud. For better or for worse, we'll be the judge of that. For better or for worse. Another classic one. I wonder if these are reprints, if they're just reprinting old comics. Seems like a lot of these guys would be dead. Okay, for better or for worse, it's 2 people in the scene. Retta called. What did she say? Nothing. She wanted to talk to you. Man, she dumps me? Doesn't answer my letters? doesn't speak to me for 5 months and she phones just like that? I don't think he's that angry, but he sounds pretty angry in my head. So are you going to call her back? No way, man. I am in no rush. And the next scene is him actually in a rush, and he's dialing frantically the phone. Presumably Retta. So he's a liar. He's a liar, and he has anger management issues. And whoever the chick that he's with, maybe it's his mom or sister, seems to be provoking him. She's an instigator in his fragile life, where he can't grasp onto reality. He has to lash out. And this person he's with is an enabler. She doesn't help at all. And I would say, for better or for worse, that one was for worse. Bizarro. Now we're getting in the creme de la creme, however you say it. Bizarro. Of course, you got the classic Alien. Classic Alien. 2 people on a couch. These low-budget films with mumbled dialogue and no plot make me sick. And they're watching something. Indigestion is the word. Pretty sure that he would always have a word, right? On the bottom. Close to home. I think I used to like this one. The artwork always kind of freaked me out. But here's the comic right there. So it's the Pope in at a White Sox game. He's got a sign. Go White Sox. Underneath. Well, it figures. I finally get season tickets to the White Sox, and I end up seated behind the new Pope. This one took me a second to understand, but of course the new Pope is from Chicago, or had lived there for a time. And that's why this Pope is sitting in the stands in the White Sox game, because he's from Chicago, and that's the joke. Did you like that? I did. Let's keep going. Dennis the Menace. Of course, you got the little asshole 4-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever. He's a complete mess, complete wreck, complete asshole to everyone around him. But it's cute. All right, it's Dennis and a little girl. Dennis, we need to talk. The last time you said that, you did all the talking. I don't know why I made him sound all adolescent and post-pubescent. But it's funnier. The last time you said that, you did all the talking. Hocus Focus. That's the last one on the page. Hocus Focus. And it's a man in his pajamas. Oh, this isn't a comic. This is Find 6 Differences, but my resolution is shitty. So, till we get that new phone, we are stuck in the Stone Ages. And of course, opening a newspaper is the worst thing on planet Earth. Pain in the ass. Okay, here's page 2. I definitely did not pick my nose just then when I hid the paper in front of my face. All right, Garfield. Does it get any more original than Garfield? A diabetic, obese cat that has a proclivity to use food as a crutch in his emotionally depraved life. Let's read. Garfield. Most people sing in the shower. Off scene, you see notes. Someone singing. Garfield. But only John accompanies himself on the accordion. So this is making you assume that John, of course, John is Garfield's owner, the human, who neglects him and enables the obesity. He's using an accordion in the shower. I guess those can get wet. I don't think they're electronic, so that checks out. Some of these are so cringe, I don't want to read them. But maybe that's why we need to read them. Fraz. Do you guys remember Fraz? Right there, you guys remember that one? Two people in the scene. Three people in the scene. Does a learning curve refer to the lesson or the learner? Teacher. You don't know? Teacher. I used to know, but I guess I don't. Janitor, broom mop kid. What do you learn today? Black kid. Some people's learning curves are more like squiggles. So that takes a lot of thinking, a lot of brain power. Classic one coming up, Hagar the Horrible. Hagar the Horrible. This was one I remember when I was a child at the breakfast table eating sugary Oreos. The king, there's many people in the scene, but two are talking. The king wants to start negotiations. I don't know much about negotiations, but I know what I like to ignore. And of course, it's Hagar going full steam ahead, plowing through the, I guess you'd call that a crowd. There's more than three people, plowing right through them. That would be domestic, that would be battery nowadays. I don't think they had that law back then. You could just plow through a crowd of people, potentially seriously injuring them. High and Lois. High and Lois. This is the next comic up to bat. Two people in the scene. Three people. We're checking out all the houses in the area online. I'm a real estate agent. I can show you some. That's okay. We're just window shopping. And it's in parentheses. And the lady is on a computer, completely ignoring the advice of an actual real estate agent, which they've trained for. They've sold probably countless homes. But no, you'd rather be a complete bitch and just say that you're window shopping on your Windows 95 computer and your monitor that's also from 1995. So you're better than everyone, including a realtor. Why would a realtor be at a library fully dressed up? Maybe she's selling the library. Who knows? Jumpstart. This was the one with the black kid and the white kid. My friend pointed out to me an interesting fact about this comic, Jumpstart. When I was a kid, they were in the womb. They were, I don't know, someone just moved my camera. That's weird. They were in the womb, these two kids. That could be false, but I'm pretty sure my friend was right. Two people in the scene. Okay, Dexter, today we're tackling history. Try to stay conscious. No promises. Who was the first president to live in the White House? Hint, it wasn't George Washington. He must have really made his wife mad. That's purely just the way I think she would talk in real life. Mother Goose and Grimm. You guys remember this classic Mother Goose and Grimm? Two people in the scene. Sometimes I get aisle rage walking behind slow folks at the grocery store. I can't remember if that was a dog or some sort of alien being. She did not write anything down during the session. So fire her. Get a different therapist there, dog. She is not helping you. Gotta make notes when you're a therapist. Luann. This one was pretty cringe. But that's why we do it. That's why we're doing it tonight. God damn, I hate folding a newspaper. I hate it so much. Why did I start this like segment? Luann. There it is, right there. Luann. Looks like a 38-year-old girl, lady, probably has some cats and some stretch marks. Probably not stretch marks. I would assume she's had sex. So, two people in the scene. Let's play Shanazan. I'm the warehouse boss. You bring me orders. And the 38-year-old cat woman is like this. So imagine a 12-year-old girl and a 38-year-old lady, crabby lady, in a room. Shanazan, my website, okay? Dryer, a roll of toilet paper, and some cookies. Is this a scavenger hunt? That's the 38-year-old crabby lady. It's Shanazan. Go get the orders. Don't you have robots for that? Don't you have robots for that? That's terrible. Mutts. I don't want to read it. It's so terrible. Fine, I'll read it. Mutts. It's about dogs. Two dogs in the scene. I see that his birthday is on October 5th. May I ask what year? Every year. It's a punchline. Don't blame me. King, King, I can't read it. But look up the comic Mutts. Email that guy. Tell him that Hit or Miss is going to find him. And we're going to take all his art utensils, all his coloring books, all his pens, all his colored pencils. We're taking them away for that vile, vile trash. I almost feel like with these comics, the only reason that they fill up the page is purely because they need to fill up a page. That shouldn't be the reason comics are in your newspaper. Red and Rover. Another dog one. Red and Rover. Two people in this. Well, there's multiple people in the scene. Only the dog's talking. It's a deal. Beat me home and you get my favorite squeaky toy. But if I beat you, then I get... And the dog is at the table. A bet's a bet. So the dog beat the little kid home and he got to sit at the table. That was his reward. A filthy, flea-ridden, musty dog that was just outside, rolling around in shit, piss, probably, gets to sit at the table. That's his reward. That's what they're rewarding animals in these comics. Born Loser. Another one I remember because I lived it in middle school. The Born Loser. So there's three people talking in the scene. I'm glad you're home. There's a big drip under the kitchen sink. Well, what do you know? And now there's a big drip here in the foyer, too. Foyer. And they obviously don't like this guy. And I guess in the 50s, they would call you a drip if you were not exciting. Nowadays, that means something to do with your clothes. He got that drip. Yo, he got that drip. It's not what a lot of words meant in the 40s. Zits. You guys remember zits? I had quite a few of them. I would try my best to conceal them. And I actually have a little one right now. But I would try my best to conceal them before school. Because school is, as we know, the cruelest place on earth. So try my best. But I try all sorts of things. I would press on it real hard for like minutes. Because in my head, I'm like, yeah, if I press on the zit, it'll redistribute the oils and all the bad shit back into my skin. Worked for a little bit. They always came back. Zits. 101 things you should do while you're still a teenager. And it's a picture of a giant fucking pizza on his table. And he's reading his watch like this. Like, I wonder how long it's going to take me to eat this pizza. But of course, this pizza is completely unattainable. No human could eat that. An impossible goal, I would say. But it's funny. That's why we're reading these, because they're funny. They're so funny. All right, Marmaduke. This has to be recycled. There's no way that guy's still writing Marmaduke. That guy's got to be dead. Your little kitten is so cute. Marmaduke can't bring himself to bark at it. So it's a little girl holding a kitten. And Marmaduke is trying his best not to bark at the cat. Cute. Animal humor. You guys like animal humor? Off the mark. That's the next one up on the rotation. Off the mark. There's the scene right there. We're in a psychic room. Decaf. You switched to decaf. And the guy on the table, she's good. And he's passed out. He's slumped over because he did in fact switch to decaf. And he's not having a good day. He looks dead. Dude looks dead on the table. Imagine if you died at a psychic reading. Wonder how that would go. Do they just do they call 911? Do they have a back room where they take you? I don't know how that would work. Maybe they could revive you through a palm reading. I'm not in the psychic world too much. I don't know what their powers are besides telling the future. Family circus. Classic family circus. How many times have I told you not to do that? 3. The little kid saying 3. Ha! Because he took it to a literal level. When obviously all moms don't understand meta humor. So she was being facetious, being a bit under the cuff. Not the child, though. He was being very literal. He's tearing pages out of a fucking magazine, too. What a little asshole. Oh, that's the whole premise. So he's torn pages out of a magazine 3 times, and he never learned. Children. Speed Bump. I do not remember this comic. This might be a new one. There's the scene. It's 2 yuppies with their dogs at a park. Looks like Central Park. The dog is talking. Avoid pale legs this time of year. They always taste like sunscreen. And he's talking to the other dog. Probably because dogs are known for licking legs. Licking legs, licking all sorts of parts of our body. That's the joke. That dogs lick sunscreen off our legs. There are a couple that I skipped out on, so let's go back. I thought of all the comics tonight, this was my favorite. Wizard of Id. It's Wizard of Id. Pretty sure Id is it's a historical reference for sure. The Idiot or whatever. You guys know. 2 people in the scene. So what did I shoot today? It's a golf course. Let's see. 5 + 9 + 4. 153. What are you in for? Math. He was shackled for doing math in the Middle Ages. Thought that was fairly amusing. Best comic of the night, my opinion, which is saying a hell of a lot, because a lot of these the comics should be shot. These artists should not be doing comics. They should be working at a movie theater, saying, "Do you want more butter with that?" I mean, they can draw. I'll give them that. I'm not an artist. By no means. So I can't hate on them for drawing their comics. But good Lord, the fact that they can make a living is very telling. Well, that's all the comics for tonight. There's another page. There's another page on here called Advice. I glanced at it briefly. Back in the day, before social media, people would have advice columns. And that's what this is. I'm surprised that it's still going. Asking Eric. Friends invite themselves over for pool parties. Now, right off the bat, couldn't you just suck all the water out? Or maybe they're going to a party that's already going on. Put bleach in the pool. That'd be my advice. Dear Eric, I own a nice home with a pool. I have friends that call me to ask if I want to go in the backyard or if we can use the pool. My issue is when I have people over, I feel obligated to entertain. Even though I know I don't need to feel obligated and they don't expect anything, I'm really getting uncomfortable with people inviting themselves over to my home. Grow a pair. Tell them to fuck off. Tell them I don't got time for pool shit today. I gotta write this dude in this paper. So stop going in my pool. Any suggestions? Dear lifeguard, I have to admit, I would be that friend. Guilty as charged. So right off the bat, the dude giving advice is already saying, I would be that friend. I would be that shit friend that's inviting himself over to your house. So that's a good response already. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, it just tastes like you got some grass, blended it with some water in a NutriBullet. But we are trying to get sponsored by whoever, so I'll lie and say Suja Organic is fantastic. Tastes like grass! Tastes like grass out your backyard! Alright. Dear lifeguard, I have to admit, I would be that friend. I'd be in your ring cam with a swimsuit and a platter of hoagies every weekend. I think that when friends put in pools, we can see it as a community invitation. No, never thought that. Which, of course, it's not. I'll leave the hoagies and be on my way. It's good that you're able to let your friends know when you're not up for guests. I'd say take it a preemptive step forward and tell them essentially what you told me. Pool season is coming up, and I hate having to say no when the pool isn't available. So would you do me the favor of not inviting yourself over this year? I can't wait to get together when the time is right for everyone. Dear Eric, this is the guy's response to the columnist. If I can't remember if I sent a sympathy card to someone, what's the best thing to do? Send or not send? Dear card, send it. There's never too much human kindness. My mistake. That's not the response of the original. It's switching up topics with every new response. A little misleading. Dear Eric, I started a new job this year at age 58. Wow. Didn't get that retirement going. It's a scary thought. I am working at a position which is much lower in wages and responsibilities than the last job I had. I know that my current colleagues will question my advanced age once they find out how old I am. All the others are around 20 to 38 years old. Only one boss is 50. How do I get away from feeling useless, too old? My wage is $10 less than my old one, as I had a difficult time securing employment. Please give me advice. First of all, I would say just hang it up. You're 58. You got probably another good 12, 15 years left. Just live on the streets and tell people awesome stories as a crazy homeless person. What's wrong with that? What happened to just giving up and becoming the crazy old homeless guy who tells the best stories on the block? I mean, you only get one of those in a town. Here's the actual advice. Your worth isn't determined by your wage. It isn't determined by your job, your age, or how good you are at your job. It is. I would say it mostly is. I know these truths can be hard to remember sometimes, and they don't always seem true in competitive workplaces, but you have value beyond what your paycheck says. All of us do. All of us have net worth checks beyond what they're worth. That's what Eric's telling him. He's more valuable than what his check says. If you're trying to buy a yacht, that doesn't go a long ways. There are a few strategies for navigating the situation you're in. Your mileage may vary with them. His age. He's trying to be nice and say mileage, but I think mileage is much worse of an epithet. First, remind yourself that what your coworkers think about you is none of your business. People rarely think about us as much as we think they do. So they may not be asking questions about your age. They are. They know that you're 58. They know you're an old geezer at the end of his rope. They think about it every day when you pass them and you smell like old cottage cheese and an old musty lazy boy. That's all they're thinking about when they pass you. So don't believe this. Yeah, or they may see it differently. They could be intimidated by you being 58. They could be intimidated by you smelling like old cottage cheese and a musty lazy boy and 15 cats. They're intimidated by that. But good, bad, or indifferent, what they think is none of your concern, says Eric. Additionally, beyond your hiring manager, it's unlikely that anyone knows your employment history, your wage history, or the struggle you've had to find a new position, unless they're sleuths on the internet. Anyone can find out anything. This guy's living in the 50s. So you have an opportunity to share what you want and keep everything else to yourself. This isn't an act motivated by shame. Rather, you are the author of your own narrative. Often when we have struggles, we feel defined by them, especially if you have AIDS. Feel real defined by that one. But you get to pick what parts of your story and the wisdom you've gained along the way to share. Lastly, know that you're not alone. Many people have struggled to find meaningful work in the last few years. Many people are struggling to find it now. I don't know what the current unemployment rate is. That could be a bold-faced lie. I don't know. Every time you start to feel down on yourself for what you've experienced and where you are, see if you could turn it around into gratitude and pride for making it through to 58. Seems like a lot of beating around the bush, kind of flaky, surfacey, flowery advice. Some of it was good. Some of it seems like some lies. If you guys have questions to Eric, Can you see that? Send them to Eric at askingeric.com, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Follow him on Instagram. Huh. Curious how many followers this guy has on Instagram. There's a few more articles here on the advice page. This one is a lady giving advice, so we'll just skip that one. I'm just kidding. Dear Annie, women can give great advice. If you want to know the worst place to park in a parking lot, if you'd like to not know when your insurance bill is due, if you would like to know how to bake a cake, bridging the gap in blended families. This is a Dear Annie column. Dear Annie, I remarried a few years ago after losing my first wife. And my current wife also lost her husband. Jesus. We both came into the marriage with grown children. While blending two families always comes with challenges, most of the relationships have settled well, except for one. My daughter seemed okay at first. She was polite and came around now and then. But for the past 3 years, she's barely spoken. She only shows up at Christmas or for her kids' birthday parties, and even then she barely engages. My wife and I are often ignored, and it's especially hard on her. She tries to connect, but it feels like we're just an afterthought. My daughter is an only child from my previous marriage as well. I'll admit, raised with a lot of attention. She's used to things going her way, and everything seems to revolve around her schedule and her needs. I've tried to brush it off, but my wife is hurt and confused. She loves all the kids and grandkids equally and has done nothing but welcome them into her heart. I'm starting to worry that if I pass away first, my wife will be completely shut out of my daughter's life, and worse, from seeing the grandchildren who are my blood kin. I don't want to leave her alone in that pain. Why does this kind of estrangement happen in blended families? And how can I help mend things without forcing a relationship that clearly seems one-sided? Is there a way to protect the connection between my wife and my grandchildren before it's too late? Concerned stepfather and dad. Dear stepfather and dad, you are a bitch. I said it. The way that you come across is extremely infantile and self-serving. Your stepdaughter doesn't give a shit what you say to her or think about her. She only wants to go out and screw, do drugs, and get in trouble. You are totally behind on the times. What, do you still listen to The Offspring? My advice to you is to grow a pair of balls, maybe get into cocaine, dabble into meth a little bit, watch out for fent. Get back to me once you've done these. Hit up a few strip clubs, bang some hooers, and write me again. Sincerely, Annie. That's pretty wild. That was a pretty wild response. Yeah, well, that's the newspaper, guys. A lot of fun. I'm going to turn my air filter on. We've been having some air quality alerts here in Wisconsin, which is not good. They have some, I'm always adjusting. They have some wildfires up in Canada, and that smoke is coming down to Wisconsin right now. It's getting in our lungs. It's getting everywhere in the truck. Filling the truck up with soot. So I bought a fancy air filter. You know what? I guess I could show you. That's my air filter. It's nothing too fancy, actually. It's from Walmart. So we'll see how good of a job it does in the long run. Right now I can breathe okay. Once you step out of the truck, it's like you're in hell. It's just smoke everywhere in the air, on the trees, on the plants. A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke today in the upper Midwest. Even stretching down to Michigan, they had some smoke from the wildfires. I remember, what was it, 4, 5, 10, 8 years ago? We had a string of wildfire smoke from Canada that came down. It's terrible. It was living in the end times. It was eye opening, lung collapsing level soot and smoke. I never experienced anything like that. All my years growing up in Michigan, never had a wildfire smoke like that. So it was pretty eye opening. It was interesting. Couldn't really run, couldn't really play basketball. It hurt to breathe. Had a lot of wind. Had a lot of wind around that time too, I remember. For about a week or two straight. It was just nothing but constant wind. Barrage of wind all day, every day. Wouldn't stop. Was blowing all sorts of trash into our yard. It was gross. I hate wind. I fucking hate wind. We need to do something about wind. I know the government definitely could do something about the wind because it's too much wind, guys. It's probably from all the deforestation and farming we've done. So let's plant the trees back, get the farms out of here. We've already got GMOs. We figured that out. We don't need real food anymore. Let's get the trees back to where they were in the fields. Let's stop that wind. Too much wind. And as a truck driver, the wind is especially chaotic. You're constantly fighting the wheel. That's my actual wheel. You're constantly fighting the wheel. You're just death gripping the wheel while the wind is blowing and howling at you. And you're in a box. You're in a death box that could tip over at any time because of the center of gravity and stuff. And it's just not a lot of fun. Out in Wyoming, pretty notorious for trailers tipping over. You got to be real careful. Real careful. I do not have a big enough audience to just go on any meaningful conversation here. So I'm going to end it tonight. Maybe we'll get a bigger audience in the future. I don't know. I got to earn it, though. I'm not just going to sit here with my thumbs up my ass. Not much really else on my mind other than that. But I usually go for about an hour anyway. So that's it. That's the live stream. And we'll see you on the next one. Gonna have some more food and chips on the next one. Probably some more comics as well. Probably gonna get another newspaper and read the fucking news or something. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Live streams are a weird thing. You could either sit here and do nothing, or you can force yourself to do something. It's very difficult doing the latter. Ladders. Places to get to when you can't reach them. All right.